KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust. Serving Micronesia since 1938, Matson celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus, Guam's leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on your news leader, a fire in Mighty leaves a husband and wife without a place to call home. Our exclusive coverage from the scene after our team alerted first responders to the burning structure. Plus, after a brief pause, the drive-by shooting trial for Nicholas Moore kicks off. His co-actor is back on the witness stand, testifying. And all bets are off the table. One lawmaker breaks his silence on a federal subpoena related to the controversial casino on Saipan. Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnia with the exclusive interview.
Half a day, everyone. Welcome to Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Hannah Devonzo. So glad you could join us this evening. And it was a sad end to the Labor Day weekend for one Mighty couple, but the two still lucky to be alive after a fire ravaged the wood and tin shack they called home for the past half decade. And Nick, you were on scene just in time to call emergency responders.
Yeah, Hannah, all of it unfolding in a matter of minutes. From the moment I saw the smoke billowing into the air to firefighters responding, and the fire bringing the couples home completely to the ground.
Flames roaring overnight. The fire quickly growing at this wooden tin shack off East O'Brien Drive in Mighty just after 9 o'clock Monday night. The home stood behind a local detailing company. Witnesses close by watching and recording on their phones, as one person even shouted for someone to call 911. Immediately on scene, I got on the phone with emergency officials, telling them to send help. Sitting on a chair just steps away, we approached this woman.
Ma'am, is this your home?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Rose.
Rose. I already called the fire department. They're on the way, but you might want to get everyone to kind of step back.
Rose Darius watched as her husband used a hose to douse the flames, but it was spreading too quickly.
I'm with the news. I'm Nick Delgado with KUAM. I already called 911. The fire department's asking that people just kind of stay away because they don't want anyone to get hurt.
Rose says she lived here with her husband for the past 5 years. She suspects the fire was caused by a cardboard she left burning inside, a method used to keep mosquitoes away.
Because we burning the expired things inside with plenty of mosquitoes.
Fortunately, both were not inside at the time the fire sparked. Guam Fire Department firefighters arriving shortly after. Here you see a firefighter pulling the hose from the fire truck, the tin roof already caving in.
I'm really scared because I don't have all my clothes and everything is inside.
Though GFD officials quickly put it out, the aftermath left Rose devastated.
Everything is destroyed. Even all my clothes, this is all I have now. And him. And there is nowhere we can stay now.
Still, she was grateful her husband and her got away unharmed.
Alive, thanks God about that.
Even showing appreciation for the 911 call we made.
Thank you very much to you because even us, we don't have phone. Yeah, that's why it's really thank you for you to call 911.
I wish I could have gotten here sooner.
Yes.
And no thanks necessary, Rose. We did reach out to American Red Cross of Guam officials who tell me they did meet today with Rose. Officials giving Rose and her husband cots, water, and personal hygiene products. The Red Cross also working to help the couple to get back on their feet.
And talk about good timing in such a unfortunate situation. I'm glad you were there to call first responders.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Well, now turning over to a story about a man who's under arrest accused of sexually molesting a girl known to him for several years. 34-year-old Travin Cruz is charged with attempted second-degree criminal sexual conduct, along with multiple counts of second and third-degree criminal sexual conduct. Court documents state the girl, now 17, told police the molestation started when she was in the 6th grade. The child allegedly telling police in one incident, Cruz gave her marijuana to smoke before she woke up to find her pants undone. The latest alleged incident occurring in May as the child slept. She then yelled for him to stop. Cruz denied the allegations to police.
And 3 people accused in a stabbing reported earlier this year in Ordot have been cleared of all criminal charges for now. Hercules Axel, Sean Sablon, and Rebecca San Nicolas, each having attempted murder, aggravated assault, robbery, and theft charges tossed during a hearing today before Superior Court Judge Vern Perez. The Attorney General's office filing the motion to dismiss without prejudice, saying the alleged victim moved off island and is nowhere to be found. The judge granted the request, and prosecutors still have the option to refile the case at a later time. In February, the trio allegedly lured the victim to a home in Ordot to play darts for money. Prosecutors allege that's when the victim was attacked, stabbed with a knife, and robbed. The victim was able to escape before waving down a police officer for help.
Well, the story just isn't adding up. Trial for Nicholas Wayne Moore is back on in the Superior Court after being paused for weeks.
Moore's defense attorney wasting no time in discrediting a key government witness, contending his testimony was filled with holes and is contradicting. Here's more from inside the courtroom.
Is it typically your nature to lie?
No, sir.
Defense attorney David Lujan isn't quite done questioning Navy sailor and government witness Eric Salone and his credibility as he took the stand again in Superior Court during Nicholas Wayne Moore's trial. As KUAM News reported, Moore is on trial for a drive-by shooting in Agana Heights back in 2020 that left a man injured. Salone previously testified to being a passenger in Moore's car during the shooting, but old video footage of him during questioning with an agent exposed him lying.
Eyewitnesses put you there.
In the truck?
And in an
I
overwatch.
wasn't in his truck.
Sir, isn't it true that you were lying there to Agent Perry about Nick being ripped off 2 days earlier?
When I said that I wasn't in his truck, that was a lie.
And why did you lie?
I'm not sure, sir.
While he gave no rebuttal or reason for lying, Attorney Lujan continued to tarnish his credibility before the jury using the old recordings of Salone's interview.
Nick had the window down, and then I shot once, and Nick shot once. And that was it. Who fired first? Me and Nick. I don't know. Okay.
Earlier in the trial, Salone also testified that Moore shot the gun first and then he followed. Trial will continue in Superior Court in Judge Alberto Tolentino's courtroom. Now to federal court, where a jury is deliberating in the fraud trial against Hansen Helicopters and the company's owner John Walker. While the jury has yet to reach a verdict, defense today arguing in the District Court of Guam for the case to be dismissed. Walker's attorney Mac Martin contends prosecutors have shown a continuing pattern of inappropriate misconduct when speaking about the evidence presented at trial. Martin arguing prosecutors also failed to redact certain statements given to the jury despite a court order to do so. Assistant U.S. Attorney Marie Miller, however, argued Walker and his company broke the law. Chief Judge Francis Tidinko Gatewood has yet to decide on the dismissal request. Hansen Helicopters stands accused of circumventing U.S. aviation safety regulations to boost their profits. The government arguing in court the company's alleged fraudulent operations and love for money led to 9 deaths and others injured.
Well, Hannah, a federal court judge is mulling over the U.S. Attorney's request to take back the acquittal of attorney Mark Smith. Smith was recently cleared on multiple charges related to wire fraud and money laundering. The case unfolding when Smith was legal counsel for Gura and collecting funds as a landlord for the Section 8 programs. Prosecutors then alleging he hid that he had any conflicts. Defense arguing Smith was erroneously prosecuted against. Judge Ramona Manglotnia heard arguments on the government's motion for reconsideration Friday. Parties now await her decision.
And it's wildly speculated that the Mike Bree team will announce their endorsement this week of the gubernatorial team they're supporting. According to a post on their campaign Facebook page, they're hosting a party for supporters Thursdays at the Good Times Bar in Tamuning. In the post they write, "There are those that may call us losers, wish ill upon us and call us names, but they can never call us cowards." The campaign adding, "They can never force us to surrender our dignity. We know we stand for what's fair and right and best for Guam, and nothing can take that away. So let's bring together good people, celebrate the conclusion of a good, clean campaign, and reinforce in one another the
unyielding truth that there are those who love this island and our people unconditionally. A photo of St. Nicholas and the Republican team of Felix Camacho and Tony Ada has been widely shared, and Salas Metanati was a guest of Camacho last week's annual Republican Lincoln dinner.
And still to come on your news leader, Senator Duenas stands by his decision of voting no on the FY23 budget bill.
And Tomas Mangolia is sitting down with a Saipan lawmaker to discuss the investigation into Best Sunshine Casino. These stories and more coming up next.
The rising cost of living is affecting all of us on Guam. Our administration has expanded a program. We want to pay for your child's daycare up to $675 a month per child. This means more money in your pocket to pay for other expenses like the cost of gas and groceries. The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration is investing in Guam's future, and that starts by supporting our working families. We are all in this together, Guam.
This ad is paid for by government funds at the Office of the Governor and the Department of Public Health and Social Services.
And there you have it, McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich. From the makers of the world's most stolen fries. The juicy chicken sandwich from the place that offers extra napkins for a reason. The tender chicken sandwich from the creators of a sandwich phenomenon. So you won't just be biting into a chicken sandwich, you'll be biting into McDonald's new crispy, juicy, tender chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I want my streaming. I want my TV. Ooh, streaming TV. Switch between live TV and your favorite streaming apps with DTV Plus from Docomo Pacific. Watch your shows in multiple devices all at the same time, all from your home Wi-Fi. No cable lines, no hassle, more savings for only $35 a month with your Link bundle. DTV Plus, your cable TV on Wi-Fi.
Ooh,
streaming TV.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam On Demand.
Welcome back to Prime Time. Our regional correspondent Tomas Mangolia sits down with a Saipan lawmaker who was recently subpoenaed to appear before a grand jury in federal court. He says the FBI visited his office twice to discuss the origins of the Best Sunshine Casino, which remains shuttered and embroiled in legal disputes. Here's the story.
The construction of the casino behind me to many was seen as a sign of economic promise. Now some say it's a monument to broken promises fueled by political gamesmanship and self-interest. It's a gamble that federal investigators are currently looking into. It's been 3 years since the FBI raided NMI Governor Ralph Torres' office, home, and brother's law firm and the offices of Imperial Pacific International, which owns Best Sunshine Casino. Tonight, the former Commerce Secretary and Chairman of the Lottery Commission, which granted the exclusive license to the casino, shared new details of the FBI's subpoena, calling him to testify before a federal grand jury last Tuesday.
So I did go, and without a lawyer, and walked in. And less than 5 minutes, I walked out. And I was informed by the agent, I'm not going to say his name, but he said, "We apologize. Somebody should have gotten back to you, but the good news is we don't need to."
Iggy Somar, a former senator and the current secretary of the Department of Public Lands, did not testify. He says the FBI and Office of the Public Auditor visited him twice on the week of August 15th for an hour each time. He says he sought help from the CNMI Attorney General's office after being subpoenaed.
My request to the AG was, can you help me with this? And of course, they were very direct, I would say general to me, by stating that in a sense they're not able to. So I had to do my own Google research, Google of course, obviously, to find out what my rights are as a person with a subpoena.
He says he handed over a copy of the casino development agreement, which he signed off on in 2014.
They followed up with some questions to okay, so why them? And I told them generally who were involved in the submission of those RFPs And I assured them that there's nothing wrong with the selection of the IPI BSI, and that I have all the documentations they needed, and I gave it to them. So they took those documents with them, and I said I was being very objective. We hired off-island consultants to do this for us.
FBI agents reportedly spoke separately with at least one House member at the legislature about the casino's origins. The casino remains shuttered as it's embroiled in legal and regulatory disputes. Tomas Manglonia for KUAM News, reporting on Saipan.
Thanks, Tomas, for that report. We will have more from the exclusive interview tomorrow on Primetime.
And Minority Leader Chris Duenas is defending his decision to vote no on the FY23 budget bill. He's opposed to certain provisions in the bill that were inserted without going through the proper public hearing and vetting procedure. Here's more.
Senator Duenas mentions two examples in particular: the teachers' pay raises, which he says he supports, but were not first presented to the legislature and approved through the regular process, and second, the GVB budget amendment giving President and CEO Carl Gutierrez full control over all spending.
One of the primary reasons why I didn't vote for it is because this issue with the Guam Visitors Bureau is really bothering me. You know, Nestor, what I call the miscellaneous provisions now, I call it the mischievous provisions. And the reason why is because this is where mischief happens.
Gutierrez has said the elected board members are conflicted as they make spending decisions that can benefit their companies. But Duenas says if problems exist, they shouldn't be solved by simply amending the budget bill.
This problem has been festering for over 6 months, maybe almost closer to 8 months to a year between the board and the current general manager. And so to enter that into a budget, I think we should have had an oversight earlier. If it was this troublesome, we should have had a bill introduced which redoes the structure, so that everybody knows what's going on.
He concedes it's not likely the governor will veto the budget bill, but he supports passing a standalone bill to revoke the president's complete spending power in favor of a full review of board rules and regulations.
It's important that if the structure is going to be fundamentally changed to any of these public corporations, which in the end, Nestor, belong to the people of Guam, that's something that should be publicly heard and done in the full light of day.
Citing Gutierrez's concerns over conflicts of interest, the board has declined to meet since May. GVB has hired a consultant to review board policy. The report is pending. For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
And over in the Northern Marianas, Saipan marked the return of United's direct Narita flight, but it comes at a cost.
Yeah, but CNMI government officials saying it's worth the risk of $15 million investment of the federal funding. Here's regional correspondent Tomas Manglonia.
The return of the Narita to Saipan flight also marks an investment into the Commonwealth's bread and butter, tourism, and it comes at a cost.
And how much is this trip investment?
I'm not sure the total investment on it, but I do know MVA has been putting funds not just for this one, but other destinations as well.
So what is TRIP?
It's Tourism Resumption Investment Plan.
How much does TRIP cost?
So we actually set aside $15 million. This is supported by our governor, who actually helped MVA restart tourism, and that's just for the Japan market. But it's not for just the airlines, it's the entire trip program. So you're talking from airlines to travel agencies to OTAs, the whole 9 yards.
That $15 million comes from ARP federal funds. The Visitors Authority describes the investment in the airlines as revenue guaranteed.
Our goal at MVA is to make sure that we have a lot of people on the plane. So the more people we have on the plane, the less money we invest, the less money we spend.
Are you saying some of the funding is going to pay for empty seats on the plane?
Well, the goal is to make sure that we have them full. That's the goal.
If it's not full, then the funding covers the empty seats?
Yes.
Okay.
United will fly 3 flights a week for at least 6 months. Tomas Manglonia for KUAM News on Saipan.
Well, stay tuned. Up next, Dave Delgado with your roundup of local sports.
And still to come, giving every Tuesday in your Cold Stone Creamery birthday shoutouts. Keep it here.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. the moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa, you can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
The all Hyundai Tucson.
Hey, can we talk? Okay.
Half a day.
Hi,
That will be $20, please.
I forgot my Mobile Smiles Driver's Rewards card.
No worries. You can now use your registered mobile number to earn points.
Can I use my mobile number to redeem rewards?
Sure. Just show us your photo ID or driver's license.
That's easy.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. I'll get to some programming news on how you can catch this Friday's NFL season opener between the Bills and Rams in just a bit. But first off, some junior golf highlights. Check it out. Congratulations to all of the junior golfers who participated in the second NKGI Junior Golf Tournament. Group A for ages 10 to 14 years old. First place, Mina Manabusan. Second place went to Yu Chan Lee. Lexi Lansangan took third place. Group B for 5 to 9-year-olds. First place went to Caden Adcock. Second place, Jacob Adcock. Third place winner was Brighton Artero. Switching over to some softball news, Guam's middle schools will have their first girls softball season, and like middle school baseball, will become an annual middle school league. This year's league will feature 5 teams: Astumbo, Ocean View, Inarajan, FB Leon Guerrero, and Agata Johnston. All games will be played at the Triple J Guam Baseball Academy field located on the Ukadu High School campus. Big shout out to Guam's Brenda Bari on earning her IFBB Pro card. Brenda won the Bikini Masters 40A division at the NPC North American Championships held in Pittsburgh. In programming news, make sure to tune in to the stations of KUAM for all of your NFL action. On Friday, September 9th, the Buffalo Bills and Los Angeles Rams kick off the 2022 season right here on KUAM TV 8 at 10:15 in the morning.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Half a day. I'm Kalina from Doc's Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The Governor's Child Care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the Governor's Child Care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
melty cheese you crave with double the steak is back at Taco Bell. The double steak grilled cheese burrito.
The holidays coming up, and the Salvation Army is looking to bolster their food pantry supply, and they're asking help from island residents to do so. Here's Daniel Perez.
It's their mission to offer a hand to anyone in need, no matter who they are and where they come from, and they've been doing just that. Captain Yasmin Acosta of the Salvation Army shared that for the month of August alone, they've helped hundreds of residents in need.
We have provided over 44,000 meals to our community, and it's any village of the island can come here and receive services.
They've also provided 187 meals to island residents suffering from homelessness by giving out easy-to-open canned food to them. But although they do so much to help, they're now asking the people of Guam to open their hearts to help them fill up their food pantries again in anticipation for the holidays.
We know that this is temporary. We know that the shelves are empty temporary because we have a lot of faith in the generosity of the people here in Guam. But we are in need right now, especially with the holidays at our heels. Our supplies are running really low, and they tend to do so towards the end of the year, which is really now. And the need just grows more than usual during the holidays. So we are accepting shelf-stable donations, canned food, boxed food for the upcoming months. So if you have any extra, or if you would be willing to support, to sponsor your local pantry here with Salvation Army, you can always drop off here Monday through Friday from about 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Would be perfect.
Foods that can be donated include canned goods such as canned tuna, canned stews, shelf-stable milk and milk substitutes, canned vegetables with no or low sodium, and any canned foods that aren't close to expiring. Should you have any questions about how you can donate or what you can donate, you can call 671-477-9855 or 888-4807 to schedule a pickup or drop-off donation at the Salvation Army's food pantry. Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
We wrap up the show with your birthday shout-outs. Here's Jason Salas.
Happy birthday to Maria Guerrero Duarte, otherwise known as May, who, her shout-out says, is always ready to lend a helping hand when who is creative and dearly loved. Please join us, they say, in celebrating this amazing woman, May. We love you and thank you for everything. Joelle Wolford, happy birthday, my Teru. Joel, thank God for blessing us with you, and thank you for all you do for us. We love you, says your family. Sierra Tassi Garcia, happy birthday number 4, and we love you so much, Bugga. We hope you have a wonderful day today. Love Mommy, Daddy, and the whole family. And belated birthday wishes going out to Florencia Borja, who celebrated birthday number 84 on the 5th. Happy birthday to Nanenta. You're an inspiration to many of us in the family, and we love you, say the Borja and Chargaloff families. Happy birthday. Scott Pareto, born on September the 4th. Happiest of birthdays to my brother, who turned 39 this year. May God bless you with all the good things in life. Scott, you are getting love from the family. And Nicolette Balbin, born on the 3rd. Happy birthday number 9 to Nicolette. You're a beautiful princess, but most of all, you're a brilliant and extraordinary kid with a loving heart. Have a great and blessed happy birthday. Your family says we love you.
And you can be a part of our Costa and Creamery Birthday Club. Check it out on KUAM.com. And that's our show. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Nick Delgado.
And have a great evening. I'm Hannah Devonzo, and please stay safe, Guam.
Good night.
Good day, everybody. It is another Tuesday night. You know what that means? It's health, home, and lifestyle. I'm your host, Daniel Perez, and let's get right into it with Health Check.
13-year-old Robert Greenway is enjoying a new routine before school, one that includes more sleep.
Last school year, it was more like get up, rush, 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 like you're tired.
A first-of-its-kind law requires all high schools in the state to start no earlier than 8:30 and an 8 a.m. or later start for middle schools to help students get much-needed sleep.
There's zombies in the morning, and then it's very stressful to try to get them up.
The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends teens get 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Studies show nearly 70% don't get that, increasing their risk of depression, lower grades, obesity, and suicidal thoughts.
Teenagers have a huge sleep crisis.
Dr. Sachin Panda of the Salk Institute in San Diego is a leading researcher in circadian rhythm science. His research shows a later start time has a big impact in the classroom.
They actually learned better, so their grades improved by 4.5%. The tardiness also went down, and overall, teens actually felt much better about themselves.
Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey are also considering later school start times. Only about 20% of U.S. high schools start at or after 8:30 a.m., the time the AAP recommends.
How's it going? So far, so good?
Yeah, definitely. I focused like a lot more, and I just felt more productive.
An extra 30 minutes of sleep, helping Robert start the new school year off on the right foot. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, San Diego.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the break.
Guam was once home to over 12 native species of forest birds, each with their own unique sound, color, and role to play in our ecosystem. However, the arrival of the brown tree snake has threatened their existence. Today, only 3 of these species still exist in the wild. But what was once lost can be restored. Join the Department of Agriculture's efforts to restore our ecosystem. It is only through partnerships with various organizations and the community that we can give our native birds a future. Support snake suppression.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
And that's where the cheese comes in.
I don't get it.
It's a thick crust with crispy edges. What is there not to get?
The sauce on top?
You haven't even tried it yet.
You know, she's got a point. I don't want to talk about politics. Detroit style is back at Pizza Hut. No one out pizzas the Hut.
Half a day, guys. Welcome back. Now, let's check in with our friend, Claire Calvo.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
Hop a day, I'm Claire Calvo, bringing you your weekly renewal. As a single mother and an owner of a small business, especially after this past year, I am no stranger to stress. And by the same token, as a fitness and yoga instructor and a detox and wellness facilitator over the years, I am also no stranger to stress management. And so we've heard it all, right? Stress is the underlying cause of disease. Stress is the silent killer, leads to physical ailments, leads to mental emotional issues, and so forth. In order to reach optimum health and wellness, it's important that we address stress and learn how to manage stress effectively. If you are constantly under stress, chronic stress, you can have a host of physical symptoms. Anything from headaches, stomach discomfort, high blood pressure, chest pains, and even problems with sleep and with sex. Stress can also lead to emotional problems such as depression, panic attacks, and other forms of anxiety and worry. In fact, medical research estimates as much as 90% of illnesses and disease is stress-related. It can interfere with your physical functioning and bodily processing. So high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease and heart disease, digestive, and even inflammatory issues have been linked to stress factors. 43% of adults suffer adverse health effects from stress. That's almost half of the adult population. An alarming 75% to 90% of all doctor visits are reportedly stress-related ailments and complaints. So obviously, this calls for stress management tools, right? There are myriad ways to cope with stress and to manage our emotions effectively and productively. And here are a few, of course not limited to, but these are a few of the different ways. Deep breathing, or in yoga we call pranayama, the control of our breath, meditation, yoga, mindfulness, journaling, gratitude and positive affirmations. Of course, there's gratitude journals, a simple exercise routine, of course, a healthy diet, adequate sleep, reducing or eliminating substance use, of course, connecting with friends and family, with loved ones, and last but definitely not least, asking for help, seeking out therapy. For a long time, therapy was almost taboo here on island, right? And I'm happy to see and to say that now more people are seeking out therapy and they're taking advantage of this incredibly helpful and for some necessary service that thankfully is covered by insurance. And so over the next few segments, I will share specific tools, getting into more depth of stress management tools. But for now, I just want to leave you with 2 events coming up that truly capture the entire sphere of holistic health and wellness. If you didn't know, August is National Wellness Month. So Synergy Studios is offering a wellness event Sunday, August 28th, with yoga, meditation, chakra alignment, and discussions on mental health, 21-day detoxification, and other wellness services. The following event is a yoga and wellness retreat at Retidian Eco Beach Resort. It's scheduled for September 9th through the 11th. And so it's a 2-night, 3-day event inclusive of yoga, meditation, breathwork, expression sessions in art, movement, voice, self-alchemy, self-care tools, and food will be provided by Fauna Cultures into Something Good, which is a plant-based cuisine. So there are other events coming up. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next time on your Weekly Renewal.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo's Select Care.
Health Home and Lifestyle will be right back after the break.
The all-new Hyundai Tucson.
I have a tablet. I have no TV. Ooh, TV on Tab. Get live TV on your tablet or any device with DTV Plus from Docomo Pacific. Watch live channels or stream from your favorite apps on any device, all from your home Wi-Fi. No cable lines, no hassle, more savings. All for only $35 a month with your Link Bundle. DTV Plus, your cable TV on Wi-Fi. Ooh, TV on Tab.
MTO Maintenance will now completely sanitize your home, office, or business with state-of-the-art commercial sprayers. For over 30 years, MTO Maintenance has been committed to the health and safety of our customers. And now, more than ever, a clean home, office, carpets, and furniture is a necessity to our island. Give us a call today. Stay healthy and stay safe, Guam.
Call 647-6861 for an appointment.
Top of the day, everybody. It's another Tuesday. You know what that means. It's another edition of Health, Home, and Lifestyle. And since September is Suicide Prevention Month, I have with me the lovely ladies of Talk of Mental Health Awareness, or TUMA, and they will be here to talk about a variety of topics, what TUMA is, why TUMA was formed, and of course, their reaction to the launch of the 988 Crisis Hotline. To my right is Katrina. This is Ms. Jezreel Moyling. This is Nicole and Kira. So, everybody, let's start off with you, Jezreel. What is TUMA's mission and why was it started?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for considering us and actually inviting us to have this conversation. We are very grateful and honored. Tuma is actually a nickname for my brother who I lost to suicide back in 2017. And it coincidentally became the perfect acronym for Talk Up Mental Health Awareness. So the beauty in the tragedy is Tuma exists to merely bring awareness on mental health as well as efforts in the community for suicide prevention. So basically, we just bring awareness through our social media. We do what I like to call talk it ups in the community, is basically have conversations surrounded on the topic of mental health, right? It's such a umbrella of conversation, but all of us here are certified to have these conversations, and we basically sell products as well, just to bring awareness. Our logo is Choose You, and I feel it used to be Choose Life, Choose Happiness, Choose You, and then I kind of condensed it because I feel that when you choose yourself, you basically choose all of that anyway. And losing my brother put me on this journey of self-love, where I realized that the only person that can really save you in your darkest of times is really yourself.
Nicole, please, could you share why you are part of Tuma? Did you also lose someone near and dear to you?
So I'm a part of Tuma because I actually battle with anxiety. And when Desiree approached me and had asked me if I wanted to be a part of it, and she kind of broke down what Tuma is and our mission, I, without hesitation, agreed. I just think that there should be more unashamed conversations surrounding mental health, and I think that mental health is deserving of the same wellness you give to your physical life as well as your social life. I have not lost anyone to suicide, but I have grown up seeing close people to me lose themselves to any mental health struggle that has come their way. So in seeing that, I generated my own anxiety and worry for them. So seeing them lose themselves, that's how I view I lost someone to a mental health issue.
Well, you know what they say, if you worry about somebody else, that just means that you're an overall great human being, which is, it's not a flaw. People see it as a weakness, but most people would say that is a strength. Can I ask why you are a part of Tuma? Because both Desiree and Nicole, even though it's somewhat different, it still coincides with each other. So
for me, as an adult, looking back, I was experiencing symptoms of depression and anxiety since I was maybe in elementary school. I didn't know what it was. I thought I was just sad. Or my parents said to me like I was difficult, I was always angry. And then in high school, I attempted suicide. I failed, thank God. I attempted to take my life. And then after I had my daughter, I went through a very, very bad depressive episode. And through one of my best friends from high school, she actually told her story because she was going through the same thing. And she talked about getting help, where she went to get help, what she was going through. And during that time period, people really framed me as I'm crazy. And she was the one that told me that I wasn't, And so through her telling her story, I was able to seek help and realize that I'm not crazy. What I'm going through is not normal and that I needed help. So when Desiree approached me about Tuma, it's crazy because the whole point of Tuma is really talking it up, talking about what you're going through. And through my own friend, years prior, it was her story that actually helped me, get help. So that's kind of why I'm a part of Tuma, is because I see the power in telling your story.
I am grateful to be a part of Tuma, kind of fusing in or in syncing in with all of their stories. I also grew up with a mental health disorder, very similarly to Kira's history. And of course, as a child, I had no idea what was going on with me. I didn't understand why I was feeling a certain way, why I was doing certain things. Of course, my parents at the time would just take me to therapy. because that's all they knew. That was the only resource, especially during that time, that they thought was the only thing that could help us. So, of course, growing up, mental health really was a stigma, and it was just something not talked about. So I'm very grateful now, as I've gotten older, that I've done more research, I've been more educated, I understand more of why I am the way I am. I'm not ashamed of it anymore. I'm not embarrassed anymore about it. I want to be able to talk about it with the community so that people can understand that whoever is also going through the same thing I am, they can also, try to seek resources and get help and better themselves, because it's not a limit, it's not a restriction on yourself. And I don't want people to feel like they have to define themselves that way, because that's how I did for most of my life until I realized that I can get help, I can better myself. So I think that's also part of the reason why I am a part of this, and I want to share that with the community and hope that they can also do the same thing.
Well, that just about does it for this one. Thank you so much to the wonderful ladies of Talk of Mental Health Awareness Guam. You can hit them up if you have anything that you want to talk about. They are available, as they had just said. And of course, don't go anywhere because we'll have more after the break.
Thank you.
Thank you.
JA Guam is inviting high school students to this year's JA Company program. You can register at ja-guam.org and learn about the different industries to consider for your future careers. Please join us on September the 10th at the GCC Multipurpose Room to kick off the JA Company program. Again, that's ja-guam.org. Register today. Sponsored by Bank of Hawaii, IP&E, Triple J Enterprises, SBDC, Title Guarantee, Graphic Center, Matson, GPO, Deloitte, GTA, Tan Holdings Guam, Outback, Guam Green Growth, Community First, and KUAM.
The rising cost of living is affecting all of us on Guam. Our administration has expanded a program. We want to pay for your child's daycare up to $675 a month per child. This means more money in your pocket to pay for other expenses like the cost of gas and groceries. The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration is investing in Guam's future, and that starts by supporting our working families. We are all in this together, Guam.
This ad is paid for by government funds at the Office of the Governor and the Department of Public Health and Social Services.
And here's another House to Home with Jason, Liz, and Gina.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
What factors, or factor singular or plural, would actually encourage you watching this right now to actually do residential development? That's what we're asking. Liz, Gina, myself, Jason, we are tackling that very topic today on House to Home Half Day, everybody. My two very, very besties from the world of real estate that we're actually contemplating and pondering that very topic. So Gina, I guess I'll pose the question to you before we hopefully try and develop, or at least contemplate any solutions. We are on the verge, as you've mentioned on the show, of a possible housing market crisis. So you're saying the residential development needs some sort of catalyst or motivation or incentive. I mean, are those even the right words?
Incentive, yeah, absolutely. And maybe maybe not incentive, because I mean, Liz and I talk to developers all the time who are interested in doing residential development. But what's holding them back? What's preventing them from going down that path? what's in their way.
Okay, so it's
and-
not necessarily the ultimate payoff, but there are roadblocks currently obscuring, what just to get there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
And I know people hate to hear this, but it is a money-making venture building residential homes.
Sure.
And I don't understand why saying that somebody will make money doing this, why that's supposed to be an evil thing nowadays. I don't get that. But
There's
anyway,
this thing called capitalism that, like kind of works.
Yeah, that's kind of how the United States of America was founded on that. But anyway, it's becoming an ugly thing when people say they want to make money, right? But I mean, that's why developers get into this. And obviously, when there's a shortage, people want to produce what is short. So what's preventing people from just getting out there and building? There, there's a bunch of issues.
Okay, Liz, you have the pulse of the development community about as well as anybody in our community, and with your leadership role in the Guam Association of Realtors, you know better than anyone else, what their concerns are. So, what topics tend to bubble up when developers say this is why we're not operating at an optimum level?
Well, I think there's a number of factors. One, the cost keeps going up, and even Gina and I, when we meet with developers, we're telling them, don't build on the higher end because our local market is, in the 400 range right now. And if they start to build on the higher end, who are we targeting? Gina and I, our objective is our local market. We want to make sure that our local market is able to afford to build. So one of the things I thought of is, of course, if the government were to assist in the permitting process and allow, especially during this critical period, to make some allowances to allow these permitting system to go through fairly quickly so that these people can build. And the other factor I thought about, there is a federal program out there where the federal, there's a subsidy for the utilities. So if the government of Guam came up with some program to subsidize a percentage of the infrastructure, for example, power, water, sewer for certain developmental projects, I'm sure this will be an incentive for developers to go in and build. I know that there have been projects. I think at the time it was like a 20% or 25%. Gina may correct me if I'm wrong, but the federal government did subsidize. Of course, there were some requirements to that, and it was to help support the middle income families. And those homes were quickly sold. So if we hopefully came up with some program to that effect, to help subsidize part of the construction costs, then it would incentivize the developers, hey, let's do this. Many of them have tried, federal programs are difficult to get into and to qualify to do that, but we do have some local experts who have done that. Carlos Camacho is one of them who did a project, but he's got the wherewithal to go through the federal paperwork, but our regular developers don't. So if the government of Guam came up with something to that effect, I think it would help incentivize these developers, and then it would help our local community to have inventory to buy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Gina, I know you were talking about like the fact that why do some people think about there is money to be made, and why did they think that's a bad thing? And I'm going to do something now that I've wanted to do my entire career. I'm going to quote possibly my favorite movie of all time. I know the three of us know what I'm talking about. It's Wall Street, 1987, and Michael Douglas says, "Greed is good." Not in the sense of the 7 deadly sins, but I mean the chance to make money. I mean that in itself is a motivating factor, and it has proven results, right? So I mean that, if you're looking for some sort of incentive or some sort of motivation or everything like that, but as you said, there tend to be these little road bumps in the way that are getting in the way of that.
Developers want to build so they can make money. That's just plain and simple. I can understand that. I'm sure every person out there can understand that. Okay.
I work at KUAM because I want to make money.
That's right. Me too. I come to work 6 days a week because I want to make money. Anyway, so there are developers here in our community right now who are willing and have the capital to build. And whether they make money or not, let's just get away from that, okay? It doesn't matter. We need housing. So why aren't they building as much as considering that everyone in the private sector and the government, we've been promoting the idea that, hey, we need housing. Why aren't there more developers out there building? Liz just mentioned the cost. But you know what? That too, we can't control the cost, right? We cannot control the cost of labor because the more the demand, the higher that is going to go. We cannot control the cost of goods because there's so many factors that go into that. So as a community, what could we not really control, but help out in? How can the government help out? Well, I know personally a developer that after waiting 2 years for her subdivision plan to be approved, she finally called it quits and said, I can't do this anymore. Her capital investors that were, they were going to build 50 houses. Her capital investors finally said, it's been 2 years and you still don't have the subdivision plan approved. We're not even applying for building permits yet, for goodness sakes. We're just trying to get the government of Guam to say, go ahead and build 50 houses. So they pulled out. And I know there are many of us in the association, in the real estate community that have those stories to tell. So what can the government immediately do to help out with this situation? Perhaps streamline that. How difficult could it be for the government to say, listen, we need housing. We need, if you're building anything resembling housing, whether it's barracks housing, apartment housing, single family homes, townhomes, condominiums, that is housing. Some human being will use that property. Let's put together a streamlined process. I'm not saying get rid of the laws. I'm saying make them more manageable. Give a timeline. Listen, you come in here and you want a single family home built. We're going to give you that permit in 30 or 45 days. We're going to do whatever it takes to give you that permit. You're coming in here and you want to build a 50-unit residential complex. Okay, we're going to give that permit to you in 60 or 90 days because obviously there might be more agencies, but we guarantee that we will give you that permit, that approval, no more than 90 days.
And ladies, am I reading this correctly? Yeah, you're also calling for this to be a permanent change to the protocol and the procedure. Like, right, Liz, this isn't just a tourniquet solution for the current recession. You're actually saying this would be a good thing going forward.
We're kind of like what happens when you're in an emergency situation? When you're in an emergency situation, there are variances, waivers that are put in place. I think we're at the crossroad right now. Things are booming, and what's going to happen to our local community? The military is beefing up. A lot of monies are flowing in. Who is that going to benefit? And yes, we talk about greed. We talk about making money. Each of us have to work to support our families. But how about the community? They need a home. And our objective, people look at realtors that we're all about the money. No. Gina and I have been pounding our fists and speaking on your show about helping the community. And this is one important project that has to be looked at carefully. We're at a crossroads and things have to get done. And if it means the government has to step in to do something,